All right, so this is part two of if you could save and reload your life, would you? And the last one I was looking more at if you had no lasting consequences, you could do whatever bad thing that you wanted, whatever sin that you wanted, would you? And how that would still change you as a person. So this is a little bit of a different direction, just on a more like mundane, everyday level. If you could save and reload, would you do that? You could do that ahead of every major life decision, or even like, where you go into college, what job you pick, whatever. So you could like try it for a certain amount of time and then go back. Would you do that? And I think most people would, like first glance, would be like, absolutely yes. And there's movies about it where, or like the whole concept of what if there's a parallel universe where a little bit of different choices just to see how that happens. We have this obsession. We want to go back and fix our mistakes. But as I was thinking more about it, fix according to what? Like, what's our standard for what counts as a mistake? What's our standard for how we'd want our life to be? And I think if we went back, it would lead to a more comfortable life, but not necessarily a better life. Because we don't get to see the big picture of all of it. We just see what it is here and now. So, because God likes to call us to hard things because He's growing us. He wants us to be heroic. And in the middle of that, it's hard because being heroic requires sacrifice and it requires us to go beyond what our current capabilities are. So, like, I think as a first year missionary, had you given me the ability to go back to the decision I made to be a missionary or not, had you given me that decision in like October, so, in the midst of discouragement, would I go back? I'd probably go back and not be a missionary. Now, if you did it now, no way. I wouldn't change that because I see how much it was good for me. But at the time, I didn't have that perspective. And I think the same can be said of pretty much any major thing. There's a priest in a homily where he was saying, if he's asking married couples, like, if you knew on your wedding day what you knew now, like what you would have to suffer and endure together, illnesses, challenges with kids, that kind of thing, would you have gotten married? And he's like, most people probably wouldn't because it's hard. You don't see that. But also God doesn't reveal all of it. He doesn't reveal all the challenges right away because we'd run away. Instead, He just leads us gently and we take one step and then another step and another step. So I think that going back to save and reload would really just mess with that plan because with God, the future is bigger than the past. Yeah, we've made mistakes in the past. We want to go back and fix them. But He's not like, if this is where our life was and we like, this is the mistake, is that level here. He wants to raise us up to this, like even more than the mistake we made. He wants to give us something more. Because I think if we went back and fixed all our mistakes, I think that still wouldn't be enough. I think we still wouldn't be happy. There still would be something missing. And it's a pretty obvious reason why. We are desiring infinite happiness. Whenever you look at how happy you want to be, you don't put a limit on it. No one's like, well, okay, too happy, can't do more. Well, if we don't put a limit, that means we're desiring infinite happiness. Well, nothing finite can satisfy that, obviously. Only God can. So going back and fixing all our mistakes won't satisfy the longing that only God can. So He gives us the choice to follow Him, which includes hard things. Now, even though we can't travel back in time, even though we can't save and reload, what we can do is know, like, yeah, now I know more things. I would have done things differently back then. We'll apply that to the future. What do you think future you wishes that present you does? What kind of things can present you do to make future you's life easier? For example, when you choose to procrastinate, you are just slapping future you in the face. When that becomes you, then, so like then your present you is what future you was. You're gonna hate past you for that. So think about like what are those things, and how do you apply them to the future? So also, if there's anything else, any other like cool things of if you could save and reload your life, any like applications of it, whatever, anything you want me to like talk about in another video, let me know in the comments because this has so far been a lot of fun and like really cool to think about. So yeah, also, P.S. Be a hero today.